Hello, hello, hello. Good morning, guys. Welcome back to Phoenix Four. This is your boy Kiko, aka lifting underscore four underscore four on this beautiful establishment. You guys, I will be plugging that in so you guys can see that. But welcome back to Phoenix Four Risings, you guys. We are going to get into the show today. A lot of us are going to be we're going to be sussing what we can do to set up your programming and programming your fitness. I really appreciate you guys joining. Hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you ladies, you guys, you folks enjoyed this other episodes. So let's get into it. Let's get into the dang thing. Let's go.
Powered by Riverside.
Joining me back here today at Phoenix Garage. Let's take a moment because this stuff is very hard to do. I appreciate you guys for joining back. And I know I'm saying you guys a lot, but all of my audience, all of my folks, everybody, love you all. Let's get into the topic of hand today. This episode is primarily going to be about programming your fitness. Programming your fitness means setting up plans, setting up solutions, setting up a roadmap for you in order to be successful in your goals. Again, I have been vegan for 7 years. I've been able to put on muscle. I've been in the fitness journey for about 17 years, but veganism is where I'm staying and where I'm fitting. I don't have any outlying health issues and stuff like that. And this is not a ploy for you guys to be like, oh, he's trying to get us to convert to veganism. No, I'm just letting you know my background comes from that. And I made successfully the transition before. I lost majority of my weight non-vegan, but then I started really tailoring my body, getting more natural things in, et cetera, et cetera. But it would not have been possible without this roadmap that I had for myself. Um, Now, I did take a lot of inspiration from those around me, fitness knowledge, fitness industry, people that I had to really filter those type of things with. I had to make sure that I was getting good, valuable information and not just taking a whole bunch of crap in there. Um, there's a lot of things out there. There's so much stuff that can be harmful and so much stuff that can be helpful. So without further ado, let's get into this. How do we game plan? How do we game plan fitness? Uh, how do we game plan? That's what it say. How do we roadmap? How do we game plan? And how do we make our map for our fitness journey? A lot of people come to me with these kind of questions because they're really not sure, or they've hit a point where all the stuff that they're doing is no longer working and they need outside help for that, which is amazing, which is great. And the thing that we want to do is we don't want to patronize somebody for putting the work in. However, we want to leave them better than when we found them, if that makes any sense. We also want to make sure that we enhance and give them things that are going to be life saving, life building information that is going to keep them going even in the future if they do not choose to stay in your program, especially as a fitness professional. That is one thing. I love my people, but I do not want to become a substitution for them putting in the work, if that makes any sense. I don't want them to have to show up in order to be accountable. I don't want them to have to do anything. I want them to do it because they want to and do it because they need this change in their life. So how do we game plan? Simple question. First off, what are your goals? Not just a shallow, I want to lose 40, 50, 60 pounds. What kind of quality do you think that fitness is going to get you for the long term? Do you want to be healthy? Do you want to be strong? Do you want to be fast? We don't know. So I would ask definitely before you pursue a fitness journey, deep dive, understand what it takes in order for you to get to that goal. Understand that it does take time, especially for those of my individuals who are outside of the realm of fitness, as far as not limited to people that have never gotten in shape in their life or ever worked out, people that have been in shape, but then life happened, they lost it, been a couple years up to a couple decades, and are just now trying to regain that fitness aspect. And on top of that, people that just need to enhance every other thing that they do on the programming, whether it be strength, whether it be power, whether it be endurance, things like that. And be realistic with what you're asking your body to do, because it does take you to fire off on all cylinders in order for you to get your goals met. Not saying that you got to be super obsessed, not saying that you have to not eat, sleep, and breathe health, not saying that you can't have a break here and there, but all of your actions within the journey and within everything else that you do must align to what you're trying to pull out of your body. There's been so many times that I've personally, and again, getting into deep dive, giving a little bit more, so many times that I've hit a wall because I tried something that was a short-term sustainability. Yes, it worked in the moment. It felt great. I was young. I was crazy. Yes, oh my God, I'm finally making gains. But then I fizzled out because I didn't have a contingency plan to after this or how to enhance it. So doing the same thing over and over again until your body is well beyond used to it is another way that you have to start seeking outside knowledge, outside help, trying to look up solutions to help you enhance what you're already doing and making sure that you're being wise about that. Okay. Understanding that it takes patience. We've raised in a society that everybody wants everything 5 times fast, 6 times fast, 7 times fast. Everybody wants their instant gratification. They want to have their cake eat it too. They want to be able to go out all night, build muscle, stay strong, get these gains, but their sleep schedule, their resting cycle is shot out. Their body's not able to repair. You can't, certain things like that, it can't pair, does not pair well together. And once in a while, okay, but for the most part, you need to have and inhibit that balance, and you need to understand that there's certain actions that are going to be positive for your journey, and certain actions that are going to be constantly negative for your journey. So yeah, no holds barred, no judgment, but certain sacrifices need to be made for you to focus on things like that. Not saying that you are going to punish yourself. It's not a punishment. It's a way to enjoy yourself later, to cut back on those things and to save those things for that you enjoy as a reward. Okay. Yeah. So let's get into your phases, your phases, your phases, your phases. And phases different from the training phases. Phases for seeking out help. And we already talked about the preliminary stuff. Being realistic with your goals, being able and knowledgeable and educated enough to actually know the difference of between when you need help and when you just need a kick in the butt. Again, and it's not limited to dietary help, that nutritional help, things like that. The first things first, what I would do in this quarter would be to this corner would be to actually get into it, start discussing with your healthcare provider, making sure that you are fit enough to work out if you have a healthcare provider. If you do not, getting a preliminary fit test with a health and fitness professional or a professional fitness trainer will be one of those things that will be absolutely necessarily needed, because you need to have your origin point. You need to know where you need to start at. And you may be more strong with things that you don't realize that you're strong in, and you may not need to be hyper focused on that, but something else that you need to focus on to help bolster that. Okay. There's been many times and many solutions that I've come up with personally with my clients that we start at somewhere where they're like, oh my God, I can't believe that, I can do this. And I'm like, yeah, so if you can do this, you can do that. What's lacking is this other stuff. So we start mapping out a goal, mapping out an A, B, C, D, follow through the solution. We'll go phase by phase, meaning training phase, and we'll highlight and work on certain things that we need to work on. Not everybody gets it. Not everybody likes doing the homework, but it is very, very productive, and it's conducive to actually helping you and encouraging you. And once you see those results, it keeps pushing you forward. So getting that health and fitness test to see where you are, and that is not limited to, but including to your beginning weight, your body fat, your BMI, your BMR being how many calories and stuff that you should be eating and things like that. Starting, a healthy habit routine, things like that, where you're spending less time on your phone, spending less time on social media, spending less time stewing and doubting, even to that point, getting your mental aligned with the journey that you want so that you can pull out the most efficient ways to help you. And I know I keep repeating that and going there, but all of these things tie into the same main topic. This is supposed to help you. So health and fitness professional first and foremost, and your doctor. Those will be your first couple steps of dependency. Now, if you are a special population client, somebody that is either you have a genetic, not disadvantage, but a genetic take back that makes the journey harder for you, I would then go ahead and see a specific specialist or a specific rehab facility that will help you kind of get your body in tune to help you gently get yourself up. Because not every fitness trainer, not every fitness program, especially just hitting the gym, may not always be the option for you. You might have to take care of some things like nervous issues, posture correction, especially for my folks that have been in accidents and things like that. Um, Adjustments, things like that, so you can move and groove efficiently before you get started pursuing the fitness journey and things like that. Also, tying into that as well, people that have diabetes or asthma, things like that, make sure that you have the steps in your contingency steps just in case you push yourself too hard, just in case your blood sugar falls, making sure that you have a game plan to pursue your fitness and correcting and really enhancing yourself by having an on-point diet, getting optimal rest. Post-care. So once you say that you this is a big topic to cover though, but post-care. So once you have gotten to your goals, post-care aka maintenance, what is your exit strategy? What is your plan that you are going to do when you leave the training? Have you absorbed the information? Do you know how to progress your plan? Have you been paying attention to how you guys have climbed? Are you taking notes based off of the stuff that you've done so that you can take that with you? Or do you need to, lean on your trainer for something like an exit strategy or a plan that can keep you going for the next 30, 60, 90, and so days. So definitely, especially if you have a good relationship with your trainer, they shouldn't mind. But make sure that on the training aspect that your clients are understanding you and they are taking that information, that valuable knowledge that you spent these long months with them or whatever time, and taking it and being able to understand it so that when they are progressing after your care, and then for my clients, making sure that you guys are paying attention at least somewhat so that your dependency on your trainer gets less and less, and keep that relationship open so that you can ask questions. There's no such thing as a bad question. There's no such thing as you just being thrown to the wolves. Once, especially if you have a bond with your trainer, you should always be able to rely on them for information if they are willing and able to give that to you. So make sure you guys have a good relationship. You know what I mean? Yeah, that blood, sweat, and tears is a real thing. That's a good vibe. Now, another thing we are going to transfer to is the post-care aspects of accountability. Accountability is one of the biggest takebacks of engineering your program in fitness. Okay, why? Because it keeps you honest, it keeps you in the game, it keeps you focused. Focus should be on consistency. You should have a journal. I don't care who you are, client, professional, all that. Y'all should be taking notes on every single, and I'm very strong-willed with that, but we should be taking notes on everything that we are doing, especially as far as progressing somebody on fitness, keeping yourself current on the fitness side. On the fitness professional side, we should be taking those notes that keep us current with their phases and steps and stuff like that so that we don't prolong, so that we can push them when we need to push them, and so that we can learn to back it off. If they're not ready for something and you go to push them and you didn't have in your notes that, oh my goodness, we tried this, we'll come back to it. And then you go to push them again and they're not ready for it. That is something that is specifically on the trainer themselves. Many of the times I had to refer back to my notes, and that even just quickly, just to make sure that we're on the right track. Because when we don't do those things, we can end up, hurting the client and not, things like that. But also on the inverse side, I encourage my clients to take those notes as well so they can see how far they've come. There's nothing better than you looking down at your journal from 2, 3 months ago, and at this point, being able to increase your output activity, losing that 5 pounds, and staying encouraged in it. Because the more you celebrate those little small wins, the better it is to stay engaged in your journey. And the more you will not tune out, the more it's not just a running through the motion type of thing. Big apps. That's the biggest thing. Not everyone is considered as equal. Everyone has different dings and whistles. A lot of the more premium ones, like MyFitnessPal, Samsung Health, things like that, are good ways of tracking your fitness, your food, your calories burned, things like that. They pair really well with the electronic devices, which seems like everybody's getting them. And they help you help keep you honest and or motivate you by saying like, hey, this is what you achieved, you know, or giving little celebratory messages. There's even some apps that allow you to challenge and create friend groups that you guys can continue to challenge your health and create that community for. So yeah, look into that. I ain't gonna spill on that. I'm very, very, very mildly familiar because I do use Samsung Health. It does track my fitness, track my sleep, everything like that, so I can stay on point and I can know where I'm taking off and where I'm going to. Accountability from your trainer. I believe that with trainers, we can be very motivated. I also believe that there's only so many things that your trainer is able to twist your arm about while you're in there. You know what I mean? We'll mention it to you. You could say it. Not all the things will make sense at the moment, but as you grow and as you become used to each other and you get used to the language of vocabulary, your trainer and you should be almost like this. You know, it should feel like, oh my goodness, I don't, you know, and I don't want to put that pressure on you, but most people they don't want to disappoint their trainer because not only are they subscribing to the service, but their trainer genuinely wants to see them win, like genuinely, not holds barred. It makes us so happy when you guys are meeting your goals and you're doing your homework outside of work and you're doing the stuff that I cannot see you do, if that makes any sense. And I take that very, very personal and very, very enlightening. So know that you're going to be okay if something would ever happen to our service and our agreement and things like that. Yes, there's people that hire, fire, all that stuff, especially when they're not meeting their goals and they're not being listened to and they're not being taken into consideration because it is a two-way journey. It's not just your trainer's responsibility to get you fit. Your trainer is the helper, the architect of the program, but you are the moving man. You are the worker bee. You are the one that's supposed to enact these different things. Try and let your trainer know, have open communication to make sure that you guys are meshing, to make sure that you guys are understanding those goals, to make sure that your victories are being celebrated and you have somebody that's going to push you both mentally, physically, and allow you to give that feedback to say, hey, this is a good thing for me, hey, or no, no, or dang, you know, I think you could definitely push more weight. Little things like that makes a big old difference. Yeah, that's it. That's essentially it. So yeah, before you guys start a new regime, make sure that you are programming for what you're specifically trying to get out of it. Make sure your diet is where it's going to be for that area. Make sure that you have the right knowledge, have the right direction, have the right homework, have the right programs, have the things that are going to push you forward and keep you interested and keep you going. Allow that time to set in. Allow the program to work. Trust the process and don't give up. This has been your boy Kiko for Peter's Horizons, episode 5. What is your program? So, without further ado, we are going to plug the social media. You guys can find me on lifting_4_VGains here on Instagram and YouTube/Angel of Yin Yang for another way to follow and support your boy. Thank you very much. Please leave some comments down there. Let me know what I can do, what I can talk about. Let me know how you guys' fitness journeys is going. And I want to personally thank you for tuning in constantly for these episodes. So I appreciate you guys. Keep following, keep growing, keep thriving, stay hungry, and I love you.